Let's celebrate. There's a party going on right here. A celebration to last throughout the years. So bring your good times and your laughter too. We're gonna celebrate your party with you. Come on now.
I love that song. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Shine with Curiosity and Encouragement podcast. I am your host, author Stephen Urias, author of Pet Series books and animator of the upcoming Curiosity Tales. So take a look out for that. As always, we are sponsored by Soul Sunshine. If you are an aspiring author, if it is your dream, or you need illustrators, or you need formatting, or you need marketing, reach out to Soul Sunshine at soulsunshine.com. We've had some amazing new releases and we've got some amazing things coming up. Wow, December. How did we make it here this far, this fast? We are almost at the end of the year. I honestly can't believe how fast this year has gone. Big moves, setting up new locations, just getting things situated, squared away. It's been different, but it's been good. It's been highs and lows, but we're starting to come into that, calming of everything, getting everything down to where we need it to be. I don't know. It's been a different year, but different is always good, right? When I was in high school, there was an Arby's commercial that said "different is good," and I loved that, but I took it to say "nonconformist rule." So if you are a nonconformist out there and you like that, then you are absolutely on the best side of history there. Well, it is another week of Shine with Curiosity and Encouragement, and this week we have somebody very special coming to the stage. I met PeTika at the Jack's Book Fest, and she is a fellow children's book author, and she lives here in Jacksonville, and we met and we got along, and her books are fantastic, and we've done some working together, and she is one of the most positive, hardworking, brilliant people I've ever met, and she is coming to the stage now. PeTika!
Hi, how you doing?
Doing well. How you doing?
I am breathing, so that's good.
Breathing is good. Breathing is
Yeah,
good. It's better than the alternative in that, right?
absolutely, absolutely.
So before we go on, I want you to introduce yourself to our viewers and let us know more about you. Just
Okay, so
go for it.
hi, I am PeTika Tave, founder of Beautiful and Brilliant as You Are Books and More, or BayaBooks. Together with my teenage daughter, we are on a mission to affirm children and strengthen families through our high quality, high engaging, affirming books and products that teaches children to love themselves inside and out, while also increasing conversation between children and their adults so that we all make sure that they have positive self-talk and self-image.
Oh, you had that down pat. You said that a couple times, haven't you?
Oh, a couple hundred. I tell you that. Oh, goodness.
I always see you at all the book festivals around town and all of the
Yes.
set up shops. And you have a beautiful tent, and
Thank you.
it's. When I first met you, I was like, "Wow, you know what you're doing. You got it all going on right there. You got a beautiful display. You got your books up there. It's fantastic. I love it. Um,
Thank you.
but what made you want to become a children's book author?
So actually, that is an interesting journey, just like everything else in my life. I hadn't set out to do that. It kind of fell into my lap, which is oftentimes one of the best ways to get into something. So the backstory is that I struggled with self-esteem and confidence as a kid. I was always the heavy child, tall and heavy. That's all I can remember. And every time I went to the doctor's appointment, so she's obese. Now she's super morbid obese. I mean, no, now she's super obese. Now she's super morbidly obese. I'm like, is there any other degree of obesity? Can you tell me that I am? So it was awful. And so by the time I was in middle school, eighth grade, I was 300 pounds. And then by the time I reached the age of 22, I was 427 pounds. And so I knew I had to make a difference. None of my other siblings suffered the way that I did with weight. And I was constantly up and down, up and down. I often joke that I could tell when people met me based on how small or how big I was when they first introduced me, or I was first introduced to them. But all jokes aside, I had great success as an academic in school, two wonderful parents, supportive brothers and sisters when they weren't terrorizing me. But we won't talk about that. And the one thing that no one could help me with was self-esteem, self-confidence, because I couldn't understand why I was always so tall and so heavy. So it took me a long journey to be able to appreciate who I was. And when I was 427 pounds, I was also expecting my first child, my son, and I was 22 years old. And so I had to make a choice to live for my son or die for food. And people who knew me back then knew that that was basically my catchphrase, because I went on a journey with Weight Watchers. I lost almost 200 pounds in 2006. And I became one of their inspiring stories of the year winner for the Southeast region. I was on the Today Show and I met Sarah Ferguson, the then Duchess of York. She ain't got that no more.
Nice.
Just
Very
recently.
nice.
But it was a whirlwind, affair, because I had to put my body and my health first. So then from that journey, when I found out I was having my second child, my daughter, I wanted to make sure that she didn't struggle with self-esteem the way that I did. And so before she was born, I just wrote her a series of poems. And I was just like, I'm going to read these to her and let her know that regardless of how she looks, how big or tall, big or small, whatever she is, that she is enough. And so my best friend, I'm going to give her credit, her kudos, Jamila. She told me that I needed to turn these poems into a children's book. And so I did. And through the grace of all the people that I've met, Ms. Monica Knighton, she walked me through how to get my books published. In one lunch meeting, she's like, pick my brain for lunch. And then you're on your. And I was like, thank you so much. Let me pick your brain. And so then she helped me do that. And we ended up going to my first event at the Jacksonville Melanin Market. And I still go to their events to this day. But my daughter and I took our little books and we were just like sitting there, didn't know what to do. It is Florida. It is the summer. We were outside and I did not have a tent. I was there for 5 minutes and I was like, oh boy, everybody else got a tent. I better go get a tent. And so I drove to the nearest hardware shop I could find. And I was able to get a little cheap tent. And some of my early footage, you can see it was a hot mess. But we needed it because we were going to be in the blazing Florida heat at the high noon selling books. But eventually, long story short, we sold out of about 40 books with 2 hours left to spare. Wow. And when I realized we did that, I was like, we got something special. And I said, okay, we got to test it. So we went to another event. It was a Black Expo here in Jacksonville. And again, the reception we received from people buying the books was incredible. It was a very high cost to even enter that festival. And my best friend, she supported me since day one. She said, you know what? You sell your books. I'll cover this fee. You don't worry about the price. And I'm telling you, it wasn't cheap. It was a few $100s. Okay, it was a lot of money. And we earned that back times 3.
Wow.
Times 4. And that let me know that what we had was something special, is something special. People need it. And obviously, when I thought I was the only one suffering, other people suffered their version of low confidence and self-esteem. My stemmed from height and weight. As a female, 6 feet tall, 300 pounds, 13 years old, that was phenomenal. But then other people have their struggles regardless. Could be their hair, it could be their short, could be that they think they're too thin. So through the years, I have understood and learned that everybody has something that they're not happy with. But through my pain, I have created purpose. And through the support of the community, I have been able to take that purpose and choose to, create something positive that not only boosts esteem and confidence, but also increases literacy among kids, encouraging them to read or write the stories they want to read. And then just take everything that I've done as my 20 years of an educator and package it all into something that's going to change the world. I firmly believe that.
Very nice.
Yeah,
Wow. I had no idea. I
yeah, I
I
got a
mean,
story.
talking to you, I had no idea what the backstory was, and
Mhm.
wow, that that makes me love you even more. That is amazing, and
Thank you so much.
you're just in talking to you, in every moment that we've had together, you've always just given this presence. There's a reason why I call this podcast "Shine," is because it's that shine that people bring. It's their light that they bring upon the world, and hearing that from you, wow, that was absolutely incredible. Just out of curiosity, though, in your books, who is the inspiration for your books?
So my children. So my son inspired me to lose the weight the good old fashioned way. And I can remember I was in school in Tallahassee, walking up and down those streets, and every day I set a goal to I want to go as fast as I can. Each time I went out there, I say I had 30 minutes to walk. Okay, well, I'm gonna start with 30 minutes. However far I get this week, that's how far I get the next week. I'm going to walk farther in those same 30 minutes because I needed to know that I wanted my son to not be embarrassed when he went out in public, or me not being able to keep up with him, when he wants to play and stuff like that. And that was even before he was old enough to even be active. I just wanted to have more for him. And I didn't want him to struggle with esteem and embarrassment because his mom looked a certain way. And
Mm,
so then once I realized, I mean, literally in my brain, I was like, okay, he took after his dad. He's small and athletic looking. He's not going to struggle like I did. And I literally would pray that he would be tall and thin. And right now he looked like a muscle man. And he's like, hey, mama. And I'm like, boy, going somewhere. But, that was my motivation to get my life together. And then when I had my daughter, okay, well, I had to make sure that I did the right things for her because again, I didn't know who she was going to take after. Was she's going to take after her dad or take after me? And one of the struggles that I also had was being so tall. Tall women have a rough time, especially when we're in school. I can clearly remember looking over everybody's head. And it wasn't until high school that we even had some people on my height level. And I mean that changed things, but really didn't even happen until I got to college that I was at around these super tall football and basketball players, that made me feel short. And so me feeling short is not often. Me feeling small is not something that happens often because I'm usually the biggest presence in the room. And so with her dad being 6'6" and I'm 6 feet, I'm like, oh my gosh, is my daughter gonna be 6'5", 6'8"? And those are the things that went through my head. So I said, you know what? I don't know how she's gonna turn out. But I do know she's going to have to love whoever she is, however she looks, whatever that is. So that's why I wrote the poems so I can inculcate those positive messages. This is before affirmations was really even a big thing now. And I tell people how to do affirmations a little bit better. It's more than just saying things, but you actually have to help the child believe these things too. But that's another story. But creating those poems, and initially I was so surprised at how I wrote. Sometimes I just surprise myself because I'm like, I wrote that. Oh, I did. Okay, okay. Maybe my English teacher at Stanton was right. I do have a talent. And so I tried to get it. Actually, a lot of people don't know this. So this is an exclusive you're getting. I'll give you this
oh,
exclusive.
nice. Okay, thanks.
Yeah. A lot of people don't know. I actually had all the poems into a book and I submitted them to publishers and I was going to create a poetry book for kids. Well, you can imagine how that went, especially back in 2009. Nobody was really reading poetry, and especially not poetry books for kids. So I got rejection after rejection after rejection, if they even bothered to reply. So that's why, even though I wrote the poems in 2009 before she was born, it wasn't until 2019 that I actually created our first book because I sat it in the closet for about 10 years.
Mm.
And then one of my colleagues, Ms. Monica Knighton, she's the CEO of the Monica Knighton Way. She's an incredible educator. Hey, Ms. Knighton, if you see this. And so she actually published her book and it was an educational book that helps parents engage with their children through the like she embedded questions within the book on the pages. And I was so shocked. I was like, oh my gosh, how did you do that? And that's when self-publishing started becoming popular. And so I was like, that's another route. I can't get a publisher, so I can publish my own. And so she said, look, you can meet with me for lunch. I'll tell you what you need to know, pick my brain, and then you take it from there. And I took it from there and haven't looked back since, but I still give her her flowers, because if it wasn't for the idea from my bestie and her sitting down and telling me what to do, I wouldn't be here. Or at least I wouldn't be where I am right now, because I wouldn't know what to do.
Very
So
nice.
that's why there was a 10-year lull.
No, that what I've come to realize is that everything has to happen in exactly the way it needs to happen.
Mm-hmm.
If you rush it, it's not going to bloom the way it's supposed to bloom. If you wait too long, it's not going to be as sweet as what it could have been. And
Absolutely.
it happens at exactly when you want it to happen, when it needs to happen. And the people that are in your life, that come into your life, who leave your life, are all supposed to happen when that happens. And
Absolutely.
for me, it's been some of the hardest aspects of everything, but the doors that have opened up in writing and being an author and following, as I call it, following the dream, it leads you to this new direction, and what was behind you is gone. I'm curious though, as a children's book author, and you've made some amazing points in who you've written it for, but what is the most important aspect of being a children's book author?
So now I'm going to put on my teacher hat.
Love
Because,
it.
and I'm just going to say it, and I hope people receive it, because like I said, back then, self-publishing wasn't a thing. Now it is a thing. But unfortunately, you have a lot of people that view it as a get rich quick type thing.
Mhm.
And it is not that. In fact, it needs to be even more intentional and thought out, because you are sending messages to children, the future. And it needs to have a level of work, worth, and quality that you would expect for your own child. And I say that with the utmost respect, because, but let me say this, but when I hear people just wanting to publish books so they can do a school visit, that's a turn off for me. Because as an educator, I'm not going to just let anybody come into my classroom and make a presentation to my impressionable students. And so also people want to do different activities. Well, do you know if those activities align with what we're trying to teach the child? And then do you even have the experience or the knowledge to be talking about these things in a classroom setting? Because what you may think is the writing process or something that they should know may not be exactly what we're teaching them. And I say all that to say this: some people put out products just to say they have it so they can hopefully get a quick dime. The dimes don't come quick. Once your family and friends stop supporting you, you really need to have an audience. And B, if the sole reason for publishing a children's book is to hopefully get a revenue stream of money and get some quick cash, then we really need to reevaluate what messages we're trying to get out and why, and what are we really trying to do with doing this. This isn't something that people should do because they just want to make money. It should really have some heart and passion behind it, or at least a purpose, even if the purpose is just to entertain. But here's a litmus test. If you're not willing to invest in getting it edited, getting it illustrated by not your little cousin, but an actual illustrator that knows how to do it, if you're not willing to pay a formatter to format it properly, or to make sure that your page counts and your word counts and your word choice is appropriate for the audience that you are writing to, then you might not need to be doing the book until you're ready to pay for those things or willing to invest in getting that stuff paid for. Because again, you are putting out a product for impressionable young people. We can't just put anything in their hands and expect a handout in return. I say,
Wow. I love that. And
thank you.
I appreciate that so much because there's so many people out there who just want to release anything and
Hmm.
just so they can say they're a published author or just
Right.
so they can say that this is going to make me a fortune, like you said, and it's not. As
Yeah,
the
and let me
people,
clarify. So if a person just wants to publish a book to say they're a published author, that's different. I mean, you're doing it for yourself. But where I have the issue is when they do it and expect to have the school visits and expect to get all of this, money because they published a book, but then all you did was use clip art
yeah,
or your cousin who has no knowledge of, illustrations or the process of doing it to put it out there. And unfortunately, and I say that, because unfortunately, the market has become saturated.
oh yeah, oh yeah,
And the saturation in the market makes it difficult for people like me who would love to bring authors in to talk to kids and inspire them. Difficult for us to see who's really in it for the money or for the child, who has a product that I can confidently say to my principal, hey, we should bring them in, or who's got some stuff that they put together and they're, blowing up your email. And then you're like, what is this? Like, what is
Mhm.
it? It's like, okay, if I'm grading your book, would you get an A or an F? Because I'm a tough grader. Ask my students. So again, if you just want it for yourself, great, do it. Have fun. It's easy. Upload a file on Amazon. But if you're really trying to be in schools and daycares and really get that, get to the next level as an actual author, then make sure you're investing and doing everything that you need to do to make sure your product is sellable, appealing, and meets, just basic expectations for grammar, editing, word count, word choice, illustrations, etc. I don't want to
absolutely.
knock anybody's dream, but we need to make sure that that dream is aligned with expectations. And if you're not willing to pay for the quality, then reevaluate the purpose.
Absolutely, absolutely. Let your pride and your ego go away and stick to people who know more than you
Yeah,
because that's how you're going to learn and that's how you're going to put out a better product.
exactly.
And
And honestly, my pride and ego wouldn't let me put out anything less than my best because I'm like, I ain't put my name on that. No, stir me down. I tell my students, anything you turn in to me should reflect the best that you can give. I said, that's your name. You put your name on it. So it should reflect the best you have to offer. And so if I can't confidently open up a book and say, this is my book, baby, then why am I putting my name on it? My name is my father and my mother taught me your name is your gold. And if people say, oh, she got them trifling books, what have you done? So my ego won't let me. I know my lane. A lot of people ask me, they're like, did you illustrate? I'm like, no, 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 no. You do not want to see my artistic talents. I am the writer, the creator of the ideas. I let everybody else do whatever else I need them to do. But that's just me. There are some talented writers and illustrators, but it takes a certain special skill set to be able to do that. Some people are successful with that. I am not, and I
I
know
love, I
that.
love that. I love that. So, how many books do you have published right now?
So actually, that is a great question. We actually have 8. So a
Eight.
lot
Okay.
of people don't know that my second book was actually not Brilliant as You Are, which is the companion to Beautiful as You Are. It's actually a personal finance book. It's a nonfiction personal finance book titled 30 Days to Financial Fitness. And I actually had a tough time deciding if I wanted to do the children's books as my business or the personal finance because I love personal finance. That is my heart. And I really wanted to help people, get their financial lives together because that's super important. But what I found is that a lot of people don't want to talk about that. And that market is so saturated with the heavyweights. That means I would have been competing with a Dave Ramsey,
Mhm.
a Susie Orman or a Kimberly, I think Alish, or what Kimberly Alish or somebody. it's a lot of people in that market that has established fan bases. And I was just like, I don't know how I can wiggle my way into that, especially since people don't like to talk about finances. So I spoke to my friend, Miss Rachel Lucas. We had some long walks after work every day, and we kind of hashed it out. And, I saw the success with the children's books. And that's where I said, you know what? This is what I've been wanting to do since I was a kid, help kids that struggle with self-esteem. So this is where my route is going to lead. And so that's
Nice.
where I ended up.
So with your children's book routes, where do you want to take these stories? Is there any other aspects
Mhm.
that you want to dive into?
So 2026 is going to be a big year for our company. And
Ooh.
I'm super excited. I'm not going to give out too much, but I will say this. My intent was never to be an author. So that's something other people don't know about me. I never said I wanted to push out books, because that's just not my thing. But when I come up with an idea and I say, this could work, I'll push it out. So we have two new books coming out, probably in January and February. One of them is a board book. So I'm really excited about that. It's a board
Nice.
book. I'm working on it currently right now with all the other stuff that I'm doing. So if you follow me on my socials, I have not rested in forever. And like I told you,
So
I got to
true.
get ready for a trip like tomorrow. So the board book is going to address the parents who have children that they say will tear up a paperback book or a hardcover book to pages. I said, guess what? I will fix that for you. I have a board book that you can have. So we
Nice.
have that. And then here's another exclusive. Here's another exclusive. So if anybody's watching, they're gonna have knowledge of this. People not watching, they're gonna be shocked. So my mom, I didn't know where all of my gifts come from, but in reflecting, my father wrote a lot. He was a meticulous writer, just of information. And my mom, lo and behold, was a poet back in her day. My mom is 72,
Nice.
and she had a book. So we all keep journals, just mountains and mountains of journals. She had a book of poetry that she wrote when she was a teenager,
Wow.
and she gave it to me about 2.5, 3 years ago. And I
Wow.
promised her that I would turn those poems into a book.
Nice.
And at this moment, I am editing that poetry book to be released in January, the month of her birthday.
Wow.
Yes. So,
That is special.
yeah, poems she wrote 50 plus years ago. And it's a backstory. She was a African American woman growing up in segregated Alabama, and it's
Oh, wow.
all the emotional things that she had to endure, and not with the segregation per se, but just figuring out who she was as a young woman and finding love and figuring out, do I stay here or go to the big city? And so I'm so excited to bring that to people, because just like I didn't know if people would connect to Beautiful or Brilliant as You Are, I don't know who's going to connect to her story, but we sure are going to tell it. And that's going to make my mom a published author as well. But of course, like I said, I'm putting her name on it and mine. So it's going to be top notch. And it's going to be something that I think people in her generation and younger and older will be able to connect to, relate with, and really see the power of writing, sharing your stories, and having a voice.
Oh, I hope so.
Another
This.
exclusive for Stephen. There you go.
I want to read that because the experiences of growing up in that time frame, civil rights era, the changing of the world, Vietnam. I mean,
Yes.
America changed so much during that time.
Mm-hmm.
Martin Luther King, John F. Kennedy Jr., Robert Kennedy Jr., just all of these people that just made
Yeah.
such an impact on society and where we were going. And to hear that in poetry format from a female growing up during that time frame is going to be powerful.
Yeah. I'm excited.
Wow.
I'm excited. And I was like,
Wow.
wow, mom, I guess this is where I got it from. She was like, yes. Mhm. Yes. So, and like I said, my dad, he didn't write poetry, or at least we don't have copies of my dad. So my dad was in the silent generation. My mom was in the baby boomers. So, but he wrote, I can remember he wrote meticulous journals of his work days. Like, and my dad has this immaculate way of writing that is unique to him in terms of just his penmanship. And you could just look at his journals for hours and
Nice.
you would just be taken aback. And for those who know me, I lost my dad. Let me get emotional, but I lost my dad. We lost my dad in 2021. So it's hard to believe we're coming up on the 5-year anniversary. But Why I Love Grandpa was created for him. He never got to see the completed copy of the book, but when I wrote the manuscript with my children, they actually were able to read to him the text
Oh,
before he passed away. And you could see his whole world light up as he heard his grandchildren reading Why I Love Grandpa. And so that's something
oh,
I will never forget. I only wish he could have seen the actual book, but the character Grandpa in the book is modeled after my father. So I was very intentional in having the illustrator recreate my father in cartoon form. And so the
nice.
illustrated version looks like my father.
Very nice. Wow, that's that's special. That hit me close to the heart. I lost my dad in 2020, and I
Mm,
still haven't fully recovered from it. But I mean, it gets
mm-mm.
easier in time, but still, it's what you
Yeah,
lose out in that aspect, especially with your kids, their
right.
grandkids, what
Hmm.
they no longer get. I know you said you have a trip that you got a plan for, and you didn't want to do too long today. So before we
I'm
go,
good.
is
We're having fun. We're having fun. I like to talk. We're good. We can keep
all
going.
right, all
Love it.
right.
Yeah, Steven, you got me. You got me.
That's
These
what
are great questions too.
that's what I love in podcasting is that you just get to know somebody and you get it out
Hmm.
there and it it brings us
And
all together.
yeah, and I'm gonna say anybody who's watching it, drop some comments or questions so I can hopefully answer them later in the replay. Or can we see the comments and questions live?
Yeah, if any comments come up, I will display them on the screen and you can answer
Okay.
them right there and we can say hello.
Fantastic. Yeah. And
Um,
then if you're not live, you're watching the replay, send them to us. Please follow me on my socials. I'm sure Stephen will post it, but my IG is popping up, author PeTika. And just let us know how we can support you. And thank you for being here. Please share with your networks as well. Because this is a movement. I'm on a mission and more people that can support my vision of where we're going. And like I said, 2026, the 2 books is one thing, but I'm gonna tell you, I got something even bigger planned, even bigger. Now I can't spill the beans on that one, but when you see it, you're gonna be like, hot diggity dog. That girl said she was gonna do something big. She wasn't lying.
well, one thing that I've come to realize especially in nowadays,
Hmm.
the attention span of people have gotten so low that when you hear somebody actually reads books, it's almost like what? Like you read books?
Hmm.
And I gravitate towards those people. I gravitate towards people who like to read books and not just like I only read one type of book, but read
Uh-oh.
all types of different books. And
You're not gonna like me.
what?
You're not gonna like me in this one because I have a running joke with one of my former colleagues. She's amazing. If she's watching this, you know who you are. She picks at me all the time. I'm gonna be honest, Steven. I'm gonna be honest and don't hate me for this. I don't read fiction books.
Oh wow.
I do not. It is the toughest thing for me to do because my mind is so full of what can I learn, what can I do, that I can't read about Josie and her experience on the beach with John. I have tried. It took me like a whole year to read a 200-page fiction book. So let me just say, I don't read them like I used to in high school. And that's and I'm gonna take say this as well. So my students can relate because I've always talked to them about this. Reading should be enjoyable. It shouldn't be
Mhm,
forced.
mhm.
Although we know the benefits of reading 20 minutes a day, so that should be something that we do and aspire to do with our kids, but they still should be able to read what they enjoy and what they like. in high school and middle school, they made us read all kinds of books that I couldn't care less about. I just did not want to read those books. I did it because I had to, because that I was told and taught to do what you're supposed to do. But I tell you, if I had to read one more page about flies and lords and pieces being separates and Gatsby's being great, I was like, come on, y'all. I got other stuff to read. So,
it wasn't all bad though, right?
yeah. I mean, they were good stories, but I didn't want to read them. And I'm just not going to sugarcoat that. So I tell my students, sometimes we have to do what we have to do because we have to do them, but get it done, even if you don't enjoy it. So that's the one thing. But when I tell my students, when you're reading for enjoyment and pleasure, read what you want. Parents, let your child read comic books. Let them read manga, whatever they call it. Encourage them to read what they have to read, but let them read what they want. And honestly, now I am a prolific reader of finance books, gardening books, stuff that I love. You can't make me put them down. I can recall going to the library with my children, and because my time is so limited, I already knew 365, 362. Those was the Dewey Decimal numbers that I went to straight when we went to the library. And I would get all of the books I could, like 10, 15, 20 books. I think they would let us check out at a time. I would get my 10, 20. My children would get theirs, and we would take them home. And then I would come back after, renew them every 2 to 3 weeks or whatever. So I think now you can get them for like 6 weeks or whatever. And I would just read them, just read them, just read them. And that's where I got my joy from, just reading the books I loved. But if you told me to go get a bunch of books about how Stella got her groove back, no, I ain't Stella and I ain't grooving with no book. That's about that. So
I can appreciate that.
Just let them read. My children will read, and honestly, I think it kind of rolled off on them or rubbed off on them because they'll read nonfiction as well. I don't know what my son read. He's 22. I don't know what he read. But my daughter, she'll read certain things as well. She obviously reads what she has to do in school, but she likes fashion. And hair stuff. So she's a prolific reader of those types of things. And I'm okay with it because you're still they're still getting knowledge, interacting with words, understanding other people's way of writing, and learning. So that's the whole point, enjoying what you read.
Absolutely.
But so I know you say you like people that read a bunch of different stuff. So don't.
Well, look, how about autobiographical? Do you read autobiographical?
Oh my gosh, Lord. It takes honestly, I think I picked up Michelle Obama's book.
Okay.
I don't know if I picked up any more literally my brain is one track. When I want to learn something about something, I get it. Now, I do read recommendations. So like I'm in the middle of this book called The Black Swan. I don't have it right now, but it is phenomenal. It is phenomenal. This is changing my whole perception of just business and things of that nature. I love books. All Susie Orman, I have read all of her books pretty much. Like that one, is that an autobiography?
No, it's
I'm
isn't it?
I just like it. So Susie Orman, David Bach. Oh my gosh, I love his books. Profit First. I don't know if he wrote Profit First, but I think he's called his books are Smart Couples Finish Rich, Smart People Finish Rich, stuff like that. Dave Ramsey, I do love it. And here's the thing with me when I read, and this is probably why I like nonfiction too, because if I have a topic that I want to learn about, I will get different perspectives on that topic. So I can see what different people have to say about it, and then I form my own conclusions, come to my own understandings. That's synthesizing information for those students that are watching this. And so I think that's why, because you can't synthesize information with beach love stories. Like, are they on the same beach? Like, is the grass green before they get there in the winter? I don't know. I can't do that. So my brain likes to build and expand in knowledge that I find useful. I don't escape reading a book about somebody else's fantasies or whatever. I escape by reading books I enjoy while drinking coffee and sitting on a beach. That's my escape. There we go.
I will take it. I will take it. No, I won't hold it against you if
Okay. Thank you, Stephen. Thank you.
you
Thank you.
I'm not even entirely sure where to go from here on
Oh, look, I can talk all day. That's my problem. I talk too much.
All right. Well then, this is actually probably going to be a great question for you because
Okay.
I ask this question a lot in the podcast, and when it comes to authors are very creative minded, and they're very dreams and hopes, and living out in that fantasies and everything like that. So I've gotten some feedback on this, but what's the best advice that you have received?
Don't worry about what everybody else is doing. Just do you. And
Oh,
I tell this to people, even my students, I'm like, especially when they say, I don't like to read, I'm like, you just haven't found what you want to read yet. Well, I still don't like to read. Okay, well, then write the book you want to read. And so
ooh,
here's the other thing I say. How many libraries do you think are in Jacksonville? Well, I'm gonna ask you, how many libraries are in Jacksonville?
6.
I need you to understand we got more than 6 libraries in our library system. Oh my gosh. It's like 20. I don't know, 20. But then, so Jacksonville's a big city, so we have a lot. But think about how many books do you think are in a library? Even as like the downtown library, how many books you think are there?
30 to 40,000.
Yeah. And so even with the smaller branches, we have tons of small branches. I think maybe like 14, 15 to 20 library. Hey y'all, if y'all know or can research it, put it in the comments how many about libraries we have in Jacksonville, Duval County. So you said 30 to 40,000. And then the smaller libraries, let's just say they have 5 to 10,000. That's in Jacksonville alone. Multiply that by Florida. How many libraries we have in Florida? We'll just say 100. We can be conservative. We'll say 200.
Okay.
Okay, this is the math people. Let's math people do the calculations. 200 in Florida times, we'll say an average of 20,000 books. I don't know. You're doing the math, Stephen. I don't know.
So
I'm just
200
playing.
libraries with 20,000, you're looking at 2 million. 2 million?
So then that's just in Florida. Now I know you have repeats and repetitive books across libraries, across places, but think about you multiply that times 50 states and then territories and then 50 to 500 countries. You literally have millions of books in this world. And those books represent something that somebody thought other people would want to read. Why can't that be your book, your idea? And I can tell you, whether it gets checked out once or 100 times, you're sharing your work, your stories, your knowledge, and somebody is going to appreciate it. Or if they don't, they're going to talk about it. So you know that they read it anyway. So it is a topic for conversation. So do what you want to do, put the messages out you want to push out, do it right, do it with integrity, make sure it's something you would want to buy, and then just don't worry about what everybody else is doing. Because what I found is this children's book author industry, even within our local city, can be quite competitive.
Oh, yeah.
But it's only competitive if you're looking at what other people are doing. If you do what you want to do and do it the best you can, there's no competition. It's just collaboration opportunities and enough room for everybody to enjoy what they need to do. Just make
So
it your best, do your best, believe in what you're doing, do it right, and then focus on what makes you happy.
I love that. We at the Jack's Book Fest where we met,
Mm-hmm.
um, everybody was so it's like we weren't in competition with each other. It was like we
Right,
were all very
absolutely.
proud of each other. Like, oh, you understand what it took to get to this point. You went
Mm-hmm.
through this whole thing. And not only that, but you believe in yourself and you believe in your book. So you want to put it out there during events, during festivals, during things that you actually go out there for. not just sitting back expecting people to just find you because you're special, or they find you
Yeah.
because you're funny, or they find you because of this. Like, you're
Mm.
putting yourself out there. And for me, one of the hardest aspects is that when I wrote my first book was at the worst part of my life. I lost
Mm.
my dad in 2020, my mom in 2021. My marriage failed at the end of 2022. And at the beginning of 2023, I was homeless, living in the car.
Mm.
And that's when I wrote my first book.
Wow.
So, all the insecurities that you're talking about with your books and overcoming them, I tried to overcome those completely in my first book. And I still haven't fully gotten over all those
Mm.
insecurities, but
Yeah.
listening and feeling and hearing other people's thoughts and where they've come from have been so inspiring and so uplifting.
Right.
That
Yep.
Jack's Book Fest, there was just so much love there that it was so awesome.
Yeah, and so many people sharing their stories for whatever reason. And typically, people who are out there doing the work have a mission behind what they're doing. Like, I have a mission. It's not just about books. Honestly, it's not about books. It's about the message.
Mhm.
Strengthening families, empowering parents, affirming children. That is the goal. The books are a tool to get there. And whatever your message is, I know some people have a message to create a world of kindness and accepting other people's differences, and respecting people just as they are. I know some authors have their goals of increasing a love of STEM and science and stuff like that, and others want to make it easier to go to the doctor. I know an author who's all about teaching kids proper manners or how to love their hair. So everyone has a different purpose for their book, their journey, and I'm sure there's a story rooted behind that. And yours is something that is spectacular as well. As hurtful as it was when you were going through it, look at what you're doing through that pain. And you're impacting a lot of people, and we need that.
Thank you. It literally saved my life.
And it's
It,
saving someone else's too because you're doing it.
oh, I hope so. I,
Mm-hmm.
I love it. I love just being out there. And like I said, the point of this podcast is to find people who have gone through, not just they had the silver spoon in their mouths the whole time and they don't appreciate anything. It's that
Mm.
hard work, that struggle, finding yourself, going through that journey, you know, going through it and getting to that point, finding that spark that turns into a flame, that flame that turns into a fire, and just getting the word out there of people who have written books and they believe in it passionately. So, we are coming up on New Year's, and I cannot believe it is December already. 2025 has gone by so fast, and I don't know if every day seems like it's been a year or if every day seems like it's been an hour. But I
Mm.
do know that we are coming up at the end of 2025. Do you have any New Year's resolutions set for next year?
I have some goals that I want to accomplish. I have to get my life back in order because I have been doing a lot and I cannot keep this pace up. I cannot. While I love what I'm doing, I'm having the time of my life. It has caused me to, just put some things on the back burner, and I really need like $1 million windfall to keep up with everything that I put on the back burner. But I have a bigger goal in mind, and so I won't necessarily say New Year's resolutions, but these are things that I have put in place that I want to accomplish. And not going to, I've been working very diligently to get those goals and see them to fruition. And so I'm a driven person to the
Nice.
point of my detriment because like right now I need like some more sleep and I'm not gonna get it. I'm not gonna get it. I already know. So I'm just gonna be looking all crazy like a zombie, but I love this work. I love what I'm doing. I love, oh, my computer said I low on battery, but I love being able to share stories, encourage others and my students. Oh my goodness. Me going to elementary school was not in the cards, but I will tell you, these kids, as much as they have caused me my ache and my pain, I have seen a resilience in them that makes me encouraged for their future, because I was able to bring all of my prowess and knowledge from middle school, 17 years of middle school, to them. And honestly, another reason why I'm here right now is because this is my second year with this group of students I have. And I really want to see them be successful. And I really want to see how far they can go. And it just makes me happy to be able to do what I love with the books, coupled with my passion for helping children love themselves and encouraging them to do and be their best, and seeing them be successful in a world that values grades and test scores, where they can say, you know what, I can do that, but I can also do this, and I'm still 100% successful because I set a goal, I accomplished it, and I'm moving forward. So I just want to continue that. It may look a little different in 2026, how I accomplish those goals in terms of moving forward. But I have visions, I have goals, I have dreams, I have aspirations. And like I tell my students, I still don't know what I want to be when I grow up. Like, wait a minute, aren't you a teacher? I'm like, yeah, this is me right now. I'm only 21. I still got my whole life ahead of me. So it's just wonderful. In fact, I recently not met, but one of my students, she found me on social media, and she is like the bomb.com. She's like, my oldest students are in their 30s, they're like 34. And she's like this high powered executive. And she's like, by the way, did you teach at Highlands Middle School back in the day? And I'm like, hey, girl, how you doing? Look at you. I'm so proud of you. That makes me happy. That makes me so excited. And I look forward to seeing these young ones. It's going to take a little longer for them to get there, because I'm meeting them when they're in single digits, 9 and 10, but to see where they end up and how they flourish and grow is going to be phenomenal.
I love that you have goals,
Hmm.
and a lot of people have aspirations and not goals.
Yeah.
So, an aspiration is I want to be rich.
Mm-mm.
A goal is I want to
I like
save
it there.
$500,
Yeah,
in a bank account.
exactly.
Something realistic, something that is attainable, something that's not
Right.
going to topsy turvy your world upside down by having to
Mhm.
go and do something that you have no idea about. So,
Or
I
compromise your morals, values, and ethics. That is the game changer for me. If it's going to compromise my morals, values, or ethics, I'm not doing it. I'm just done.
there you
And I am not one of those teachers that say I'm teaching because I want to be broke. No,
go.
I don't aspire to be a broke teacher. No, that's not what I'm doing. I'm teaching because this is where I am. But like you said, it's how you manage your money that determines whether you're successful or you're struggling. And so I don't agree with that. Oh, teachers do it because they have a higher calling and they don't mind being broke. Nope, that ain't it. I got goals. I want to go travel. I got stuff I got to do. That's honestly why I wrote the book as well, to show people how you can accomplish your goals and live within a modest means. You don't have to, if you make six figures but you spend six figures plus $1, you're
Right,
still broke.
right.
So it is what it is. But Stephen, I'm gonna tell you, my computer is about to die, and I really don't want it to shut up on us because my charger is in the other room unless I run up there. But I know we're coming up on the end, so
Yeah.
I'm just trying to hold out.
All right. How about two questions and we'll end it? How's that?
Okay, sounds
Uh,
good. Let me see if I can't get a charger back here. I'm gonna text my daughter, my technical support. Let me
my
see.
first question is that we had at the beginning of the year, my resolution was to have more gratitude for this year. To actually be grateful for things. So even on those hard days, to find something that you have gratitude for. What do you have gratitude for?
Look, I I know, and I've told my daughter, and I've told anybody, I am truly blessed. What I do is not easily done by a lot of people. And that's not to say it in a bragging tone, but I know there's a higher power that has me doing all the work that I do. Because sometimes I don't even know how I do what I do. Like, I've been in, at one time, it was like one, two, I've taken a class, a college, two basic college level classes while I've been teaching and running the business. It's not easy. And I've been blessed with gifts that allow me to multitask, have visions, get stuff done, understand information, and process it in a way that gets me the results I need. This isn't, it is something that I have been blessed with, and I pray and think about it. Thank God for it every night because
Yes.
I know that I couldn't do this stuff without a higher power guiding my work and what I do. So I am grateful for the gifts I've been blessed with and the vision to see how to use the gifts for the good and not for selfishness or selfish reasons. And I'm grateful for the impact that I've been able to make on the community, on my students, on my family, and within my own self. So just that is what I'm grateful for. I don't know if my daughter saw this.
Beautiful. Well, before the battery dies, how about this? Is there anything that you wish to share with our viewers about how they can get in contact with you about upcoming releases, news, and anything
Absolutely.
that's to come?
Yes, the best way to keep in touch with me is to please follow my Instagram or and how about click the link in my bio so you can sign up for my email list because I send out stuff, tips and everything. I have my Ask the Teacher little lives that I'm doing on Mondays. Tomorrow is going to be at a different time because I won't be in my regular location at 7. But I am trying to give all the resources I can to help raise a generation of confident, capable, literate children that love themselves. And I need your support. I need you to be on this journey with me, sharing my work with your network, supporting the business if you can. If you don't have children, donate. I just need you there. So IG author PeTika, Facebook, my name PeTika Tave, or BayaBooks, BayaBooks. Doesn't mean buy a book. I just found out people remember think about that. It's beautiful and brilliant as you are books and more. Because I want to know everyone to know that you are beautiful and brilliant inside and out, just the way that you are. So please join my email list, subscribe to my YouTube, follow me on Instagram, and just tell me how you're feeling. Keep in touch, share my work because I'm out in these book streets, as I call them. I'm in these book streets pushing books, building confidence with children. I need your help, y'all. I need your help. And thank you so much, Stephen, for having me here. And people don't know, we have an awesome collaboration that's going to start rolling out in January. I cannot wait to share it. Thank you so much for that. And I look forward to what the future brings.
Most certainly very welcome. Thank you for coming on the show today, PeTika. If
Thanks for having me.
I'll put you in the green room. Hopefully the battery will last for a little bit longer and I can follow up with you. But let me go ahead and wrap up the show and we'll talk here in just a little bit.
All right, sounds good. Thank you again, and much blessings to you, and many thanks to you for what you're doing to support children and authors as well. Thank you so much.
You're most certainly very welcome. Thank you for coming on the show. You have a beautiful story, and the future is absolutely fantastic for what you got coming.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Wow, that was fantastic. Absolutely fantastic show. I having met PeTika, she gives off this aura that just is confident and brilliant and powerful. And I knew right away when I first started talking to her that she was somebody that I wanted to talk to and somebody that I wanted to collaborate with and somebody that I wanted to get to know more because she just is that powerful and what she's doing out there with her books and what she's got coming. You guys watch out for PeTika. She is gonna make waves and ripples and just be fantastic with everything in this. So I'm going to put her information on this post. Reach out to her, follow her, like, comment, share everything with her. As the week rolls out on the YouTube channel, watch all of the shorts that came from this episode so you can get caught up and just get to know her. And it's going to be fantastic. Well, thank you again for spending your Sunday evenings here with live with me on Shine with Curiosity and Encouragement podcast. Next week we have another amazing author and the holiday season. Just enjoy it for what it is. Don't stress out. Don't think it needs to be anything more than what it is, and just be happy, be peace, love your family, love your kids. Love the world. Be happy. It's the best thing I can offer for this week. Thank you for watching, and we will see you guys next week with another episode of Shine with Curiosity and Encouragement Podcast. Have a wonderful week.
Ever dreamed of seeing your name on the cover of a book? As a book publisher, we understand the challenges of self-publishing. If you're lost in the process, wondering about illustrators, book coaches, or formatting issues, worry not. At Soul Sunshine, we're here to guide you. Let's turn your dream into reality. Contact us to get started.